You think that I'm wrong, and that everyone who's ever told me that, and every time I've read that and listened to that, they're wrong.
Correct.
Okay. Continue.
Yeah. It's not that I think that, it's that they are wrong.
Welcome to Things We Talk About, a podcast where we have conversations that matter. I am your host, Randall Thomas. With me is a man who's always late. A man I care about. A man who's always by my side. Lazarus Kane.
Yes, I will have you know that a bisexual can be neither early nor late. We always arrive exactly when we're needed.
Well, does that work? Does that translate into the bedroom as well?
Yeah, it
Okay.
translates everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to make, because sometimes, being a man, that happens. It's going to happen, man.
Never early or late, exactly when we're needed.
It's like a wizard, right?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
from-
Thanks.
Yeah, that's the reference.
Yeah,
Lord
yeah,
of the
that
Rings.
is the reference, yeah.
When Magneto shows up and talks to Frodo.
Yeah, talks to John Watson.
John Watson.
Yeah. For BBC's Sherlock, it's the same guy.
Okay. So Elijah Wood plays Sherlock?
No, he's Gandalf's talking to Bilbo when he says that, isn't he?
No, he's talking to Frodo.
Oh.
Frodo got this stupid smile on his face with his gap in his
never mind.
teeth.
I know thing.
Sorry, I used to be a pretty big Lord of the Rings fan back in the day.
There you go.
I read about half of the books one time. I thought I knew everything that there is to know about Lord of the Rings.
No.
Nope.
It's a whole universe.
It's interesting though because, back in like the early 2000s when those movies came out, I was reading a lot back then, and a lot of that genre of book or film, and I was really excited when the movies came out because it was like in my demographic of what I would like at that time in my life. And I talked to my friend and we got the books, all three of them. We bought the books and I went to read the books and they're so slow.
Oh yeah.
And so boring.
The Hobbit is excruciatingly slow.
It's painful, man.
Yeah. It's so bad.
It's like, and then they did this for a little bit, and then they traveled.
Yeah.
And then they traveled, and then they traveled.
Yeah.
For 15 chapters.
Yeah.
So boring. Anyways, welcome to Things We Talk About. We've got a lot to talk about. What are we talking about?
What are we talking about today?
You told me the R word.
The R word. Oh yeah. Yeah, okay.
Because I got some jokes.
Oh good. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So really what it comes down to is not necessarily the R word itself, although it's super relevant. And the R word is not relevant.
Right.
Anyway, but it has to do with people's perception of, oh, well, I don't mean it that way. Because people use the R word to mean, like, stupid or, frustrating.
Oh, shit.
Or...
I thought the R word was rape.
No.
Because I have all these rape jokes.
Oops.
That I'm not going to be able to use now.
Is that a joke you, like, put on... Is that, like,
Do you want to hear one?
Double and... No, I don't.
Okay, you said no, right?
Yeah.
What's the difference between a priest and acne?
What?
Acne will usually wait until the boy's 13 before it comes on his face.
Why do I associate with you?
So we're not doing it. What R word are we talking about?
Retarded.
Retarded.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's
just,
the R word.
Just making sure. Okay, so it's people use the R word for a replacement of something that they don't like.
Yeah. Or something that they think is just like
Stupid.
so annoying as to be.
Well, that's retarded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Meryl Streep recently
Right.
at Golden Globes.
Yeah. One of those.
I think
it was Golden Globes.
Anyway,
It doesn't matter.
one of those.
Yeah.
Um.
Where celebrities and other people in the industry
Yeah.
all high-five each other and jerk each other off.
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, so she has this like speech where she goes up, and it's actually a really good speech. It's really well delivered.
Yeah, I listened to it.
Yeah. Okay.
I wouldn't... Continue.
Come unprepared.
I'm not bisexual, so I can't control it sometimes, man.
So anyway, where she talks about Trump during his campaign imitates a disabled reporter.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense that she would be offended by what he said, because her face looks like it's a few chromosomes short itself.
She is a national treasure.
Oh, she's very talented. I'll definitely give you that. I saw her in the movie where she was a Baker act.
Oh, okay.
Where she was...
She was a Baker act?
Yeah,
she was Baker acted.
No, she was acting as a baker.
Oh.
The Julie Stiles movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. It was a good movie.
So, let me ask you a serious question. If her face looks like it's disabled but it isn't, maybe she had a stroke, maybe she didn't, but does that mean she's culturally appropriating the handicapped?
No.
But what if she's not handicapped, but she looks like she is?
Well, you can't help how you look. Like, that's not what cultural appropriation is.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
We're going to do a whole episode on that.
Okay.
But also, she doesn't look like she's disabled.
I know. I'm joking.
Anyway.
She's very talented. I saw her in Doubt. That was a good movie.
Yeah.
She's I like her a lot as an actor because she's good. She's a good actor. She's made millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Have you seen Into the Woods?
I did not see Into the Woods.
So good.
Is it?
Yeah.
What's that?
She so Into the Woods is based on a play called Into the Woods, where they it's Jack, just from Jack and the Beanstalk, Cinderella, Rapunzel, and
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
My daughter saw it.
Yeah. And Meryl Streep plays the witch.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
No makeup, right?
Well, no, it's lots of makeup.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess I think.
Well,
I didn't think it'd be necessary.
No. So actually, she has a story about that about being asked to play witches. This is the first time she's ever played a witch.
Right.
And
except in real life.
She says that when she turned, like the day she turned 40, she got her first request to play a witch, and then
that's gonna hurt your self-esteem.
That's when she stopped. That's when she stopped getting like the young, attractive roles and started getting like the old crone roles. And she's like, no, this is dumb. Like this is.
It's retarded.
Yeah, no. So yeah. So one of the things that she says, which is very true, is that even if you don't mean it, even if you're just using it as a euphemism, right? It makes it easier for people who do mean it that way, who are meaning it to be hurtful, to say it, to be hateful, to be hurtful.
And we know that because
sociology.
Because sociology says that when someone says something satirically or to be funny, it makes it easier for people to beat up retards.
No. So what it is it changes the social climate, right?
Okay.
And so what sociology says is that when something exists, when something becomes more common, it becomes more common.
Yeah.
Right.
Everyone says retard.
Everyone does not say retard, as a matter of fact. But
so what do you call something you don't like?
I don't like it.
Okay.
Like.
What do you call someone who is acting like an imbecile or a moron?
Annoying.
Do you use the words imbecile and moron? Are those offensive?
No.
They used to call the mentally challenged imbeciles and morons.
Yes.
And then that got taken away, and they changed it to retard, and that got taken away.
It's because that's a technical term. Do you know what the word means?
Retard?
Yeah.
Yeah, slow.
It means to hold back.
To hold back?
Yeah.
In music, it means to...
Yeah, to slow something down. Yeah.
To retard it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, was that offensive if I talk about my music? If I say this song when it's really slow, I say this song is retarded?
I don't know. If it's a technical term, I would imagine not, but...
Okay.
So the idea is if it's more common, then it becomes more common, right? If it's put out into the social atmosphere,
sure,
then it's easier for other people to do it for whatever reason, not just like being silly or being euphemistic.
Sure. So you're saying we shouldn't do something out of fear of what some bad people might do. We shouldn't say what we want to say because somebody eventually might do something bad.
No, because people actively do things that are bad.
Yeah, but bad people will do bad things fucking period.
Right.
Regardless.
But you can reduce the amount that happens.
Okay, well, let's
making it harder.
throw away our driver's licenses so people will stop drunk driving.
No, it's not remotely the same
It's
thing.
100% the same thing.
No. It would be like if us having driver's license made people drunk.
But people will drink regardless. But if we got rid of our driver's licenses and we stopped driving, people would stop running over other people when they're drunk.
Technically, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
But
no guessing. If people stopped driving, there would be no more. If people
s-
stopped using the word retard, then apparently there would be no more retard bashing. Right?
No, but it would be harder to do so because it would be obvious
that's such
when
a slippery
it's
slope,
happening.
you motherfucker.
No,
That's
it's
so
not.
stupid.
No, it's not. No, that's that whole like driver's license thing. That's a straw man argument.
Well, so is this fucking whole argument's a slippery slope.
No, it's not.
It's 100% a slippery slope. Because A happens, then B must happen.
Well, no,
because I'm a liberal asshole and don't think with my head.
No, actually, no. I think the whole point is that yes, it is a slippery slope, and that when things become easier, and that it racks up. It is an exponential curve.
So your ideal utopia in the future, people are constantly walking on eggshells to prevent anyone from potentially doing something bad.
No, not at all.
Can I say fuck?
Yes, you absolutely can.
Because the Christians say I can't.
It's not part. It's not part
I can't
of
say
their
God damn it.
identity. It's not part of their
But I can't say,
identity.
I don't like the right telling me what to do, and I don't like the left telling me what to do. I don't like the right saying I can't say God damn it or Jesus Christ. Because I love those words. It's so much fun to use them. I like saying retarded. It's funny to me.
Right, but you're not, the difference is that you're not using God damn it and Jesus Christ in like a disparaging way. You are not like affecting their identity. You are not making them lesser in society for using those words.
Yeah, I am.
No,
By
you're
taking
not.
their God and then using their God in vain and like shitting all over it when I talk about it.
That has to do with their, like the rules of their religion. That is different.
But that is what they're doing. That is what they believe in. That is their identity, to put it in your terms. Their identity is that Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior. And if I say Jesus Christ when I stub my toe or someone cuts me off in traffic, that's disparaging their Lord and Savior.
The difference is that those words are not used during acts of violence.
So people never committed acts of violence?
No, like upon Christians. That's the thing. Like those words are not used when a Christian is being beaten to death.
Okay.
And that's what matters.
So no one's beaten up. Let's say, because we're doing the slippery slope thing. Let's say nobody beats up a Christian and makes fun of them for believing in Jesus. That doesn't happen?
No, I didn't say that.
What did you say?
No, I said that no one uses the phrases God damn it and Jesus Christ while they are beating a Christian to death. That's not how that works.
I'm pretty
Those
sure
words
if
are
someone
not
was beating up...
associated with those acts.
If someone was beating up a Christian, I guarantee you, for being a Christian, they would absolutely throw Jesus Christ in their face. Because that's what they believe in. That's their identity.
Right. And so, when does that happen?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know when retards get beat up
But
either.
they do.
Okay,
Like-
so do Christians.
No, they don't.
You don't know martyrdom? You don't know if people getting
Oh
crucified?
yeah, from the Crusades. Yeah.
Also fucking now when they go overseas? It happens, dude.
Right, but we're not talking about overseas. We're talking about American culture today.
Okay.
You know, just being on the bus and talking. That's
Okay,
what
and
we're
when I
talking
say,
about.
when someone says something, let's say a slippery slope argument for their entire defense, and I say it's retarded, now someone's gonna go beat up somebody?
No.
That's a fucking slippery
I'm not,
slope, dude.
No, I'm not. It's not an if then, and I'm not. That's one of the straw man arguments you're throwing out. Is that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you say retarded and it immediately happens. I'm not saying like, oh well, you give this guy a driver's license and someone immediately goes and drives.
Then it
drunk.
invalidates your argument.
No, it's not.
It does.
Because I'm talking about an emergent property that occurs over time.
Okay.
Right, and so that it's not
So then,
just you.
To be a pedant, eventually, someone will beat up a retard because I used the word retarded. Eventually, over time, someone is more likely to beat up a retard because
someone
he used
is
the word retarded.
more
That's so
likely
stupid.
because it makes it easier. Because believe it or not, yes, social shame keeps a lot of acts of hate in check.
Now, I'm not opposed to social shame either. I think it's
Well,
great.
apparently you are.
No, I think it's great.
Apparently you are, because we're not allowed to like control people. We're not allowed to like control the way people act. They're supposed to be able to act however they want.
Say what they want. Acting and saying are different.
They're
are.
linked. You don't think that actions follow words?
I don't think it matters. I think we have what's called a freedom of speech, and if someone wants to say something, they can and should.
That's not how freedom of speech works at all.
How does it work?
So freedom of speech, the First Amendment covers, the only thing it absolutely covers is the press. Okay. It does say speech, but depending on how you read it...
Whatever's in your bias and advantage.
Well, the press could just be like further description of it. But it does not cover...
Satire? Comedy? Because it does.
Does it? Where does it say that?
I don't fucking know.
It doesn't.
Do I have the Constitution?
No,
what does everyone else
say
talk
that.
about, though? Isn't there even a license that allows you to use things in parody?
Yes. What are we talking about? Is there, okay.
Yeah, if you're using something for parody, you can do it for free.
Right, but everything is based on legal precedent. So, but if you want to talk about the First Amendment, there are types of speech that are not covered under the First Amendment.
Like?
You cannot yell fire in a crowded theater. You cannot yell bomb on an airplane. Because those are acts that are inherently destructive and hostile. They are intended to do harm.
You know what's not intended to do harm? When I say something I don't like, and I call it retarded.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that you are doing harm. I don't care if you don't intend to. It's not just you. It's you and the 600,000 other people doing it. That makes it easier.
That makes it easier for some idiot, some moron, or...
some person...
or imbecile to go beat up a mentally challenged person.
Because when you say that, you give them permission to do so. Because you say it's okay to use these words.
It's horseshit. It's complete horseshit.
That's not what you intend to do, but that's what you're doing.
You said on this very podcast, intentions are everything to you.
Generally, yeah. But the thing is that...
God damn it.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. This is how it works.
No. And it shouldn't. And
I agree that it shouldn't, but it does. It does. When people act in a certain way, that is what means it's okay. So when you take two concepts,
okay,
right, and you put them together, like when you say there is this word called retarded,
right,
and it is associated with these people, and when you take things that are contemptible or bad or whatever,
right,
and you combine them, you are taking these people and you're combining with the concepts that say bad, things like that. It's like calling stuff that is stupid gay.
Okay. Yeah, we all stopped doing that.
No, we haven't.
I
promise you, we have not.
I know people do it to be satirical, but I didn't know.
Do it all the time.
Really?
All the time. That's gay.
See, I thought people stopped doing that in the 90s.
Same thing. It is the same thing.
You've seen 21 Jump Street.
No, I haven't.
Dude, I think you would love... So, the theme of the movie is these guys that graduate high school together become police, and they get put into this program, put back into high school, and they went to high school in the late 90s.
Oh, yeah, I know what scene you're talking about.
And, within the first, probably 20 minutes of the movie, the one guy walks in with, a shell necklace and his Eminem dyed hair, because that was cool in 99.
Yeah.
And the other guy walks up, and they're playing this music, and he was the macho jock guy. Walks says, "Turn off this gay shit," and smacks the the music off, and everyone gets offended because I didn't know people still said.
Oh no, people absolutely still do it.
That's crazy.
And that shit.
Here's why I refuse, because everyone, at least everyone I knew when I was young, used the term gay in replace of the word bad. Mm-hmm. That was just how we talked. Mm-hmm. And I think with, the progression of society, how much more learned people have become about the homosexual community, people have definitely reared and put their brakes on that word. Mm-hmm. I don't know anyone that uses it. Apparently they do, and I trust you. I mean, you would definitely know that more than I would.
Yeah.
But the difference between using the word gay in places they know look versus retarded is that people genuinely don't like homosexuals. They don't like them. There's, for religious purposes, not all people, obviously not. I mean, not obviously. Come on. But there's a large group of people who do not like homosexuals. Whether they're the far right, whether they're the religious, whatever they are, that don't like homosexuals, to use the term gay in a disparaging way, your argument would make sense for that. But everyone likes a retard.
No, everyone doesn't. You don't think that the mentally challenged are genuinely disparaged and hedged out of society?
I think that if you're homeless, and I say most homeless people probably have some sort of mental disability, that they get
yes,
probably.
No,
I would assume.
Well, the closure of federal mental hospitals has something to do with that.
We should talk about that.
Yeah,
do you have any stats on that or no?
No, it was done during the Reagan administration, but we'll
man,
talk about that later.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
And that hurts my heart, man.
Yeah,
that hurts a sensitive spot in my heart.
Yeah.
Now, all satire and arguing aside, I have been trying to take the R word out of my dialect for a while now.
Yeah.
Reason being, I was at a... I was sitting there one time and I just got done playing some music and like my hair was all matted and like I had shaved but I messed up and like my neck was bleeding in one part. I looked so stupid. And this couple came up to me, this couple I knew pretty well, and said, "What's wrong, man?" Because I'm like, I was like 22, kind of sulking, 23, sulking a little bit. I said, "I look retarded." It's like, and I'm up there in front of all these people on camera and I look retarded. And they go, no, you look fine. You don't look retarded. They had us over for dinner one time. Their son's retarded.
Oops.
And keep in mind, they didn't care. At least they were nice
showed
enough.
You, yeah.
And I guarantee you their son didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Because he was in bad shape.
Yeah.
But ever since then, it's been like one of those, well, fuck, man.
Yeah.
Because they're good people, they're nice people, and like they definitely didn't hold it against me. And I mean, they're a little blue collar, a little rough around the edges, so they might even use it themselves. I don't know. But ever since then, it's been something like I've been trying to pay attention to, but it's so like ingrained in the way that I talk. Would I make fun of a retarded person? Probably not. Especially like an individual, I would not make fun of an individual for being mentally challenged. I wouldn't do that.
Right.
But
right.
I made a lot of Michael J. Fox jokes when he got Parkinson's.
I mean,
and at the time they were very funny.
Well, what you did then, has no bearing on what you do now, right? You can choose, just like everyone, scare quotes, everyone decided to stop using gay and stupid or whatever.
Everyone I associate with.
Right.
Right.
Like that was an active choice that they made.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
It was actually, I don't know if it was an active choice to me, because I didn't intend to stop using it. I just eventually did.
Well, it was probably because the people around you stopped using it that way.
Yeah, I would think so.
That's what I'm saying, is that when people around you do something, it gives you tacit permission to do it. And when people around you stop doing it, you stop doing it.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Who else says retarded? I'm sure people do.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure people do.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone does.
So yeah.
So let me tell you the issue I have. Now, I knew it was going to be retarded because we talked about this episode before.
Yeah.
But
I was like, how did this happen?
So, couple things. What bothers me most about what Meryl Streep said is that you said it was a good speech. Now, I don't inherently disagree. Believe it or not, I don't disagree with what she said.
I believe it.
I think a little bit's... I think it's exaggeration, but sometimes you have to use hyperbole.
That's rhetoric,
to make a point.
Yeah.
Sometimes hyperbole exists to further your point, or to further your joke, or to further your story. That's why it exists. So, and I put a hyperbole, disclaimer on when anyone says anything when they're on a soapbox. What bothers me is that, as a society, we take people who are so far out of touch with society, and that's who we listen to.
Oh, yeah.
And that frustrates me. That really frustrates me because Meryl Streep, since like the 80s, has been a multi-millionaire who doesn't live in the trenches like you and me, like the majority of civilization. She's on the hills telling everyone else how to behave so she's more comfortable. And that bugs me.
No, I understand what you're saying. I'm a little worried of sort of like going too far to the opposite side in saying that just because you have multiple millions of dollars means you're not capable of commenting on the human experience.
But your experience is going to be way different than the majority of people she's talking to us.
Absolutely.
She's not talking... Yeah, she's there with her peers, but she's talking to us. And
right.
This is why she made it a point at the beginning of the speech to say, I came from common beginnings just like everyone else, because she knew she's so out of touch she had to put that disclaimer on there.
Well, at the same time, it doesn't preclude her from doing the research, right?
Right.
In the same thing that you or I, in order to prepare for any episode that we were doing, we would have to like go to the internet and get information and facts and whatever, even for making jokes.
No.
There's nothing that would prevent her from doing the exact same thing before the Golden Globes, you know, because she knew she was going to be on a global space.
She may or may not have written.
Yeah.
But she's a mouthpiece for some agenda that doesn't like the
Everyone is a
retard.
mouthpiece for some agenda. That's how agendas work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like-
Well, I would say everyone's a mouthpiece because some people, for their agenda, should not be talking.
Yeah. Some
they,
people would...
they do more harm than good when
Yeah.
they open their mouths.
Sure.
But what bothers me about that, and keeping on the point, is that yes, she's got $45 to $65 million net worth right now.
Okay.
Internet.
That's not a whole lot.
To me, that's a tremendous, like, yes, compared to billionaires.
In the scope of Hollywood.
But in the scope of relatable, I don't know anyone that makes over $1 million.
Sure.
Like I'm like friends with or associate with.
Yeah.
Maybe some clients, but as far as like my life, I don't.
Yeah.
If you make over $100,000, you've got it made for me.
Yeah. I get it. I get what you're saying.
But she's made that money on her ability to act. And I said this earlier, but her ability to cry or not cry on command. Then she gets up in front of millions of people and cannot control her fucking emotions.
Well, it's because it's genuine.
Oh, it's bullshit. It's an act. She's an actor.
So whenever an actor emotes, we can never trust what
Absolutely.
they're doing.
I wouldn't trust anyone emoting, period. Because people will do whatever they can to further their agenda.
Wow. That's...
Always have a level of, do that face you just made, the squinchy face.
Yeah.
Do that anytime anyone says anything to you. Every time. Sounds like horse shit.
I just no, it's not
Complete
even
horseshit.
that. It's just like I feel like you've built a jade palace around yourself. Like
What do you mean?
You're cynical. You sounds like you're incredibly cynical.
Yeah, I am.
That's a problem.
No, not at all.
No, because there's a difference between being cynical and being skeptical.
I'm both. I would think.
No, because what?
You don't think I'm skeptical?
Yeah, no. I guess you are varying degrees, but you cannot be both at the same time on the same subject.
Okay. So when I think paid actors who get paid to control their emotions can't control their emotions in front of millions of people, and I think that's horseshit.
I think that if you think that people who get paid to act can never be trusted to emote genuinely, that's pretty cynical.
I mean, who was it? Was it Robert Downey Jr. that said all acting is just being a really good liar?
I mean, okay.
But that's what I heard that quote and said, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And Meryl Streep, all of the charities that and good thing she gives to charities, but all of her charities have to do with that sort of agenda. And then she gets up there, and again, she gets paid so much money to act.
Right.
And she cannot fucking act when on camera. It's bullshit.
No. Or maybe she was just being if that's all of her charities, that's what she's devoted her life to outside of the screen, then maybe she's just really, really passionate about this cause.
That's a good argument, and I like that argument. However, when she's done movies before that I've watched and I've cried because they were so moving, they were so motivating, they were sad.
Yeah.
But she gets paid to do that.
Sure.
That is her one job.
Okay. So no. Let's take this and put it in a different scenario. So, if you have someone who's like a salesman, right? Sure. They make their money off sales and they do really well. They make millions. They're like a real estate agent.
Okay.
Or something like that. Right? They make millions of dollars on their
real estate
sales.
agent in the late 90s. Let's say that.
Well, and so you can never ever trust them when they say something is good.
Absolutely.
Because that's what they get paid to do. Even if they have no reason to lie to you about this, it's their job to tell people how good things are.
That goes back to intent and motivation. If I'm working with a car salesman and my friend's a car salesman, and they're telling me how great this car is, I wouldn't trust them. I mean, I wouldn't, because they have a motive, they have an intent, they have a bias.
Right.
They have a reason.
It's his car. He's not selling you it.
Doesn't matter. When taking on a role of a salesperson, you have to believe your own bullshit. You have to. Because if you don't, then you're never going to make any money. Honest guys in sales, if you're purely honest, if this is a good deal or not, you will not make money. You have to take yourself, withdraw your conscience from what you're doing.
Right.
And just say what needs to be said to make the sale.
Right. So
if she's already using hyperbole, which we've clarified, yes, she's using hyperbole.
If that guy is, but if the guy isn't selling you a car? What if he's talking about like a refrigerator or something? Like or like a house or something. He can't be trusted because it's his job to talk about how great things are and get people to buy them.
Maybe, but if the refrigerator doesn't further his agenda, why would he lie about it?
I don't know. Meryl doesn't stand to benefit from this.
What?
No,
she donates all of her money.
She doesn't get paid for that though.
But it's
that makes her lesser.
God, you don't understand what it just makes her lesser?
Yeah.
For her to be a celebrity and donating and be seen to be donating and have those donations documented, that makes her lesser? No. For someone who understands PR very well, you're getting that wrong. People want to be seen giving because then it makes them be perceived in the public eye as a charitable person. Sure. And no one wants to go see a movie.
Did she say donate to these charities?
It doesn't matter.
Did she
say... Her agenda's the same, regardless of what the charities are. It's not about the charity. It's about the bias. It's about the intent, about the motive. You understand that.
It's about... So like, she stood back and was like, I'm going to get everyone to donate to my charities.
You're not understanding what I'm saying.
Like...
I understand. I know what you're trying to say, but that's not what I'm saying.
Okay, then what are you saying?
She has a bias. Regardless of charities, she has donated to a cause.
Sure.
So now she gets on stage, crocodile tears.
Oh, so that's what I'm disputing. Is because, first of all, the fact that it's a pre-written speech shouldn't take away from it. Because...
She's an actor. That's what she does. She reads what other people wrote for a living.
Or she could have written it herself.
Yeah, that's not what I mean. I'm not saying she could have. She very well could have. But what she does, and she probably did, because I know you thought it was great, but as far as speeches are concerned, it's not the best.
I mean, it was a pretty courageous thing to do.
How?
Because there was a lot of backlash that could have happened. Like, to sit there and, like... throw something at like the president-elect who
everybody is fucking doing.
No.
How courageous! You're doing what everyone on the left is doing.
No, who is already like threatened to jail his opponent. Like, we don't know how this guy is going to act in office.
It's true. I have no idea. I hate the guy.
Well, at any rate, so I've lost my point.
It's okay. We'll take a moment to retard. It's a technical term.
No,
I meant to pull back. I just did. We're going to pull back. To retard. We're going to retard. We're pulling back. We're retarding. It's okay to use it in a technical context.
Hold back.
Yeah, we're holding back.
But that's not how you're using it. You're using it to be an asshole. Is how you're using it.
Well, I'm using it in a technical term to be an asshole.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that
if someone ever gets beat up because I use the term retard in a technical term on a podcast,
you'll never know. You'll never know.
So then I guess I won't apologize for it.
But it will still be your fault.
I don't like taking blame for things that actually are not my fault. I hate that. Don't blame me for something I didn't do. And I didn't do it.
Listen, no, I'm not blaming.
I've never beat up anybody in my life.
I'm not blaming you for that. I'm blaming you for making it easier for them to do it.
Fuck off.
Okay.
It's like I say about that. Like I believe, especially in comedy, people should be able to say whatever the fuck they want.
I agree.
And if Donald Trump wants to get up there and do the Harlem Shake or whatever, whatever he was doing, and that wasn't funny, but he thought it would be funny. And if he wants to do it again...
No, but he wasn't doing it to be funny. He was doing it to be mean. And that's what Meryl's talking about, is that it was not meant to be funny. He was doing it to be mean.
So I can say it if I'm trying to be funny. Is that what Meryl said? Like by...
No.
Okay.
No. Is that he was doing it to be mean, and then everyone reacted in a mean way. And that was a microcosm.
Oh, my God. Okay. No, continue. I am genuinely listening to what you're saying.
Are you?
Yes.
Okay, because you seem like you shut down there.
No. I just that's a trigger word for me.
Is it?
Yes. Continue.
Okay.
Mean is a trigger word?
No, like microaggressions, all that stuff. To me, that's just...
No, microcosm means everything that is in the micro.
Okay, because turns out I'm just stupid. That's why I did that. Yeah. Turns out I don't know what is an English language.
Yes, apparently. You are not in English either. Apparently. We get a whole list. You're not a mathematic or an English. I'm sure you are something.
all cynicism aside, and all joking and hyperbole aside. I mean, I purposely watched the video under the visor of what can I do to get Lazarus King riled up.
Mm-hmm.
I like what you said. Like I said, I'm trying to cut it out. I'm trying to take it back. Because I do genuinely believe it's far-fetched to say that for people using the word retarded means handicapped people get beat up.
That's not... No one is saying that. We're saying it makes it easier.
Oh, it's so stupid.
I'm
not going to apologize for something some asshole does.
I'm not... We're not asking you to. We're asking you to stop making it easier for them to do it.
That's such a slippery slope argument, man.
Sometimes slippery slopes are accurate. Exponential curves exist in the real world.
What is an exponential? How do you pronounce it?
Exponential
curve.
Yeah, so like a linear thing is where a line goes across the graph like that.
Okay.
But exponential curves are for each increment.
He's talking with his hands again for people that...
for each increment, it increases. So eventually you end up with a line that goes up like that.
So the more society uses the word retard, the more handicapped people are going to get beat up.
The easier it is for that to happen.
Well, is it more?
It increases the probability of that.
So
happening.
then yes, the more, because the probability
but not so simple as like someone says it and then it immediately happens.
Again, your utopia in the future is that people don't say certain things out of fear of someone maybe potentially getting beat up down the road due to an exponential graph.
So if we're going to use the phrase my utopia is where things that are a part of people that they didn't choose, that are a part of them, are not used as derogatory terms.
Okay.
Does that sound fair?
Fair, yes. Realistic, no.
Well, we're not talking about realistic. We're talking about utopia. And in the meantime, I would like to reduce that as much as possible.
The main issue, because I don't make fun of people to be mean. I have made fun of because it's funny. And if something is funny, I will say it. Obviously, I will say something if I think it's funny, regardless of whether it's appropriate or not.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be said if it's funny. But the issue is, at what point does it become bullying versus, let's say, just comedy?
Yeah, and the funny is a really odd word to use. I understand what you mean.
Thank you.
But you mean funny as in amusing. Yeah?
It makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Amusing things don't always make me laugh.
Right, but that's what you mean, though. And so,
sort of.
Well, if you take that bar, whatever that means,
whatever word you want to use in place of what I actually used.
Yeah, it's in funny or whatever.
Okay.
And you give that to someone else who is not a nice guy.
Yeah.
Right. Then it was funny, To
them.
Yeah.
See, in your utopia, I just imagine a bunch of Dane Cooks and that motherfucker with the puppet that's not funny. You know what I'm talking about?
I forget his name.
He's the worst comedian ever to exist. I have no idea how people laugh at his jokes.
Mm-hmm.
It's so hard to watch. But people love him.
Mm.
People love him. And hopefully that comes up in the cultural appropriation episode, because it's some pretty non-funny, offensive things that he does.
Yeah.
Not offensive to me, but offensive probably to somebody.
Yeah.
But even though it's offensive, it's not funny.
Yeah.
But if somebody finds that funny, do it, dude. Just do it. I don't care if you're marginalizing. I don't care if you're hurting feelings or...
If you're hurting physically someone?
That's not what I said.
Because...
Your argument's a slippery slope and therefore invalid to me. You said it. You even said it is. You said slopes exist in real life.
Yeah,
is what you said. That means you said, yes, you're right, it's a slippery slope.
So what I'm saying, though, is that you don't care if someone gets hurt. If it's funny, do it.
If it's to me. If I get hurt, then it's funny.
Right, but we're talking about...
Or my daughter, when she falls, it's funny.
You're making it easier for other people to get hurt.
Potentially, and again, that's a slippery slope. I'm not going to apologize, and you say you don't want me to, but you want me to change the way that I talk so that less people potentially, through this slippery slope of yours and your utopia, stop getting offended and stop getting hurt.
Stop getting hurt, yeah. Stop getting hurt. Offense is one thing, hurt is another.
But comedy is everything.
And I'm not talking about, emotionally hurt. I'm talking about physically injured.
Right. Like the hobo bashing thing.
Yeah.
Have you seen those videos? What is it called?
I have not, and I really have no interest in seeing it.
But do you know what I'm talking about? There's the video of the dude, and this is early to mid 2000s, would go around beating up bums.
No, I haven't.
And bum fights is what it was called. And that was intended to be funny. I don't think it's funny. Mm-hmm. And it's not because he's beating up bums, but violence in and of itself is not funny to me. I don't think it's funny at all.
That's what I was saying. Like, if you take that and you give it to someone who is not like you, right, who, like, thinks that hurting people is funny, like, that's how they're going to use it.
So you should put a restriction on me because of how other people act.
Yes, how other people act because you have given them tacit permission to do so.
I haven't. I've never said
you
beat
have.
up. I haven't. That's a slippery slope. That invalidates your argument.
No, it's like
I have not
things
said
gay.
Beat up retards. I have not said that. I would never say that. And I would never say anything bad.
But so, like, that's what I'm trying to explain to you. I'm not saying that you have done that, but what I'm telling you is that when you take a category of person and you identify them with things that are irrelevant or contemptible or disgusting or whatever, you're saying that these people are all of those things. And it is when an item has these things, it is okay to treat them like trash.
That's not what I'm saying. It's not. And you can go back and forth and keep repeating yourself, but that's not what I'm saying. Why would I stop if that's not what I'm saying? Because of what potentially some piece of shit's going to do?
Because
no,
you are.
Fuck off,
that
you piece of
what
shit.
You're saying.
But it's not. It's really not. You're just being so fucking sensitive.
That's how sociology works. That's how society works. And you can sit here and you can repeat yourself all you want, but you're wrong.
I'm not. I'm absolutely not wrong.
You're wrong. You know you're wrong because you stopped saying gay.
I stopped saying gay because
everyone
you're not fucking
you.
listening earlier. I said people dislike homosexuals.
Yeah.
A large population dislikes homosexuality.
Yeah.
That same population is not against the disabled.
No, but often they are the same people.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would agree. That it's the same. The people that don't like disableds are probably the same people who also don't like
if you agree
that
if you agree that, like, saying gay to mean stupid is a problem because people don't like it, and then it makes it easier for them to go kick the shit out of gay people, they're the same people. Mm-hmm. Right?
So I should change the way I talk because of some group of people that are
because you have an obligation to society.
I don't.
You do.
I don't. I absolutely do not. What's my obligation that you're telling me that I have to have? What's this obligation? Tell me. What's my obligation to society?
Your obligation to society is decrease the amount of negative impact you have.
Okay.
Yeah. And what I'm telling you is that doing these things
potentially could maybe eventually lead to violence.
Doing these things do.
You said potentially earlier. Which one is it?
They increase the probability of it happening.
Potentially happening.
Those are
your words.
Potentially is not the same as probability. Probability is these things do happen, right? Potentially is, it may happen sometimes, maybe.
That's exactly what it is.
No, that's how
it may happen maybe sometimes.
But it does happen, is what I'm saying.
Okay, and I think if I were to stop using the word retard in a negative way, which I'm trying to do anyways, listeners, I genuinely am trying to take that out of my vocab.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to stop anyone from being less hateful.
And so I think that like you're taking a lot of this personally. It sounds like you're taking a lot of this personally because you're saying, I don't have to do this. It's not my fault. I've never given anyone permission to do that. I don't say that. But I'm not talking about you.
You are. You said it's my responsibility.
I'm not talking
That's
about you.
Me.
But the phenomena I'm talking about, right, is not you singularly. It's you and your neighbor and like the 300 million people in America.
What's funny is my neighbor actually is a very very big opponent against using the term gay and fag in any way. Fag at all, and then gay unless it's, in the way it's supposed to be used.
Yeah.
But he uses the N-word, and then
That's a whole other episode.
And then he says retarded also.
Yeah.
But it's like,
clearly he doesn't get it.
Which one is it? Like, is it the ones that only affect you, or are you going to be careful what you say about everything?
Like, I think it's a pretty simple rule. Like, if you are about to use a descriptor for someone, mm-hmm. right? Someone that's part of their identity that they didn't choose, and equate it to trash, or whatever the equivalent is.
Right. Over time, eventually, probability is probably was the term you're supposed to
probability increases. Like
it will probably happen to where someone's going to get beat up because of not me necessarily, but the people I represent and saying that.
Yeah, exactly. And
okay.
so like
that's what you're trying to say.
That those identities become closer equated with trash, and trash gets treated like trash. Like that's just how that is.
Real quick, let's take a quick break. Real quick.
All right.
Real quick.
Yeah.
And we'll come right back.
Okay.
Real quick.
Yeah. We'll be right back.
But
after these messages,
we're gonna retard from talking real quick, and then we're gonna be right back. Hey, Lazarus.
Hey, Randy.
Is everything done with our Patreon page?
Yeah, I finished it this morning.
Great, take it away, Mr. Announcer Guy.
Wait, what?
Do you like the things we talk about? Do you crave Lazarus's witty insights and Randy's dulcet tones? Did you know that TWTA produces additional content besides the weekly episodes, like bonus content, update letters, and personal thank you notes? Did you know you could get these benefits and more by becoming a Patreon at www.patreon.com/TWTA? Lazarus made sure to find a process simple enough for Randy to use, so we know you can too. Fans pledge $1, $3, $5, or more a month. The amount you choose will determine your Patreon tier, which will determine what sweet, tier-exclusive benefits you'll receive. Together, these patron pledges not only allow you, the fans, to increase your participation, but also give Lazarus and Randy increased ability to create more and better content. Each goal achieved will unlock things like new kinds of content, one-time host challenges, additional weekly updates, and one step closer to having conversations that matter full time. TWTA's Patreon page also features an all-post feed, where you, the fans, can get in on the conversations, post fan art, get to know the community, and leave comments for your intrepid host. Starting the process is as simple as going to patreon.com/TWTA and clicking the Become a Patreon button.
And we're back.
Yeah.
So to clarify, because we were just talking about the downtrodden, disabled, and how if you use the word retard in a negative context, it associates the word retard with negativity, and through some slope of yours,
some timey-wimey, like humany-woomany sort of social process.
Right. One of the soft sciences that you learned. So, yeah.
It's not an insult, it is a soft science.
So you're saying that it will cause violence against...
It will make violence easier.
It will probably cause violence. Let's use the word probability.
It will increase the probability, yes.
Okay. Which when I hear probability slurred, it sounds like probably. And that's how my brain retains it.
Okay.
It probably will cause violence. Well, no, in this context, it works.
Yeah.
I would think.
So yeah, that is an excellent summary.
So you feel that someone needs to speak out. That's why Meryl Streep's doing it. That's why you're doing it, because you're not disabled. I am significantly more disabled than you are. And Meryl Streep. Well, maybe not Meryl Streep.
We don't know. We don't know her story.
Because she might have had a stroke. Maybe she didn't. Maybe she's always looked like that.
Anyway.
But my point is, you feel as if the downtrodden need a voice to speak for.
Yes. Yeah. So like, I would phrase that differently. And I would say that I am not gonna knock someone for giving them a voice.
Okay, but you yourself...
She feels that they do need a voice, and okay. I don't disagree with her.
So the minority needs to have a spokesperson because they're in the minority.
Yeah. So that is the nature of being a minority, is that, the more you can get into like the majority like conversation, the better. Okay,
so you are a fan of college electoral. Giving the
electoral
minority
college?
Giving the minority
That
a
is
voice.
a whole different episode, and no.
So you're not a fan of
because that's not what the electoral college does.
I thought it was the idea that you give the people who don't have a voice, because they're lesser in numbers, you give them a voice.
So that's what it sounds like, and that's how it was pitched. Right. But in practice, in reality, what it does is it gives...
No, don't spoil it. We'll talk about it another time.
Okay. So it doesn't. So
just to clarify, you think that I'm wrong, and that everyone who's ever told me that, and every time I've read that and listened to that, they're wrong.
Correct.
Okay. Continue.
Yeah. It's not that I think that, it's that they are wrong. So one thing I did want to get to before we wrap up this episode, and we're getting close now, is when you were saying about your neighbor who takes offense at certain words being used
And not others.
Right. So what I found really interesting is that you censored the N-word, and rightly so.
Right.
Because neither of us are black. And so...
Right.
But you did not censor the word fag.
Right. Didn't even think to.
Didn't even
think to.
occur
Still,
to you.
To be fair, it did make me cringe. Because saying that word makes me cringe every time I say it.
To be fair, I didn't see you cringe.
You will never see me display emotion, period. Unless it's anger, you will not see that emotion.
Okay. He says as he laughs and smiles.
Fuck off with your logic.
So yeah, so is that, and so, but if I didn't see it, then they didn't hear it. You know what I mean?
Say it again?
The cringe. Like if I didn't see you cringe, then it almost certainly they didn't hear the cringe in your voice when you said fag.
Okay, I see. Okay,
Yeah. So that it matters, and so because like there is this sort of like parallel between the two that like
Right.
as I mentioned before, these are the words, capital T capital W words that are said during like people getting battered to death.
I understand that point.
You know.
My thought, the reason why, because it wasn't intentional. Obviously, it's not intentional. The reason why I censored the N-word, but not the F-word. There's
I know.
two reasons why I think the F-word doesn't get censored as much. First reason, the F-word's already taken by one of my favorite words.
Yeah.
And secondly, I've been told since I was a kid that the N-word is bad.
Right.
Don't say it.
Right.
Don't say it. But it wasn't until probably about 15 years ago that fag became
So let me
bad.
ask you a question then. How do you think that starts?
A little bit at a time. You get people riled up, and then before you know it, Meryl Streep goes on stage and tells you not to say something. Some celebrity fake
like,
cries.
No, because like when our parents were growing up, the N-word wasn't really censored like that, right? To my knowledge.
Okay.
Like it was probably something you didn't say in mixed company, but like it was a word that was used. But now it is not. You were not raised that way.
That's because you don't listen to hip hop.
Well, it's different, right? And so the point is just like between friends, stuff like that.
I don't want to go down a tangent.
Anyway,
that's a good one.
Anyway, but yeah. So, but you were raised differently. You know.
Me?
Yeah. So you were raised that this is a bad word and you don't say this word.
The N-word.
Yeah, the N-word.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I guess where I'm going with this is all it's going to take is our generation raising our kids that fag is a bad word and it's not used. It is not to be used.
That's also something. That's a good buffer for me. Is would I be comfortable with my daughter saying it? And if I'm not,
I'm going to keep that in my back pocket
and
for future arguments.
Like, I'm okay with accountability, but it's because I'm sure. So have I said the story about how she said fuck the other day?
No.
Okay.
You haven't told me that story.
So I'm listening to a pop song by the band Busted.
This may get cut out for bonus content. Continue.
Maybe not. So I'm listening to this band, and there's a part where this guy goes, "It's so fucking beautiful," or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And I turn the F word down, like I turn the radio down,
That's adorable.
the dial down. When cause she's sitting in the front, she's jamming out. She likes the song. I turn it back, and she goes, "Daddy, why'd you do that?" I said, "Well, it says a word that I don't really want you hearing." She goes, "What, fucking?" And I said, "Baby, so you can't say that." She goes, "Well, you and your friends say it all the time." I said, "Baby,
I learned it from you, Dad."
pretty much. Well, no. To piggyback on your point, she hears it in music and stuff, but she hears me say it all the time,
Which gives her permission.
gives her permission to use it.
Yeah.
To piggyback on what you were saying before.
Yeah.
And so I explained to her, if she were to use that word, because the word itself is just a word.
Yeah.
It really is nothing more than a word.
Yeah.
But if you use that around certain people, those certain people will no longer be your friends.
Yeah.
Because they'll tell their parents that you say this, and they won't be allowed to hang out with you. And that sort of idea is going to hang out with you the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Thought
Not a bad way to put it.
No. And it's like, if you want to say it around me, I don't like you doing it because you're my little girl.
Because it's weird.
It's weird. But if she does it, I mean, what am I going to say?
Yeah.
But
it's not like she's never going to say
And I explained to her, because she cracks her knuckles, because I crack my knuckles. And I said, you cracking your knuckles, you know how a lot of people get grossed out when you do that? If you were to drop the F-bomb, if you were to say the actual F word around people, they're going to get really upset with you. And even if you don't mean to, if you develop a habit of saying it all the time, such as your father has.
Now I'm gonna have to like do like an inventory. Be like, is this something he just said to her because he doesn't want her using the word, or should I like curtail my speech patterns?
No, just because I have people over almost every night of the week, and
So popular.
To an extent, I'm relatable, I guess, because I can have friends.
Hey man.
On one side and friends on the other, and listen and agree with both points.
So, apparently.
Yeah, as you know.
Awkward pregnant silence.
It's just a moment of us being a retard.
No, that's not how that works.
How's it not work?
That's not how that... that's not... You are in music. You know that's not how that word works.
But like if I pull back in the music, I'm being a retard.
No, you are retarding the music.
But the music's not retarded.
It is, if it's slower.
That's offensive.
No, it's not. Because it's not using to compare it to...
All right, did you want to talk real quick about the disabled being kind of subjugated in society?
Oh, yeah. So, like, I wouldn't use the word subjugated, but I would use marginalized.
Okay.
And oppressed.
Okay.
And stuff like that, which can equate to subjugated, but that's like a whole different, like, thing.
I'm not a grammar.
There are many things that you are not. We'll have to. I'll put a list on the website. So, or a vocabulary.
I am not a vocabulary by any means.
So.
Or a thesaurus.
So yeah. No, it's basically they already have like this really like, for lack of a better phrase, shitty position in society.
Okay, that's a good phrase.
Yeah. It's not the most eloquent, but it is, I think, accurate.
Yeah. I would agree.
And so one of the things that we talked about during the break was societal inertia. And
so cool.
This is going to come up a lot in our, because we talk about like, we're going to be talking about things that like change society or like or stuff like that, controversies. And so it is not necessarily that. One of the reasons I think it is brave to go up and on a stage, regardless of who you are, regardless of how much money you make, and say something that is contrary to the status quo, is because there is a certain amount of societal inertia. And by that I mean, for those who like inertia is something's resistance to change.
Us simpletons is what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
So like if you have like a glass sitting on a table, like it takes a certain amount of force to move it from where it is, right? And the amount of the amount of resistance it has is its inertia. So metaphorically speaking, society has the same thing where it takes a certain amount of social pressure to change the way a society works. And so there are people, most people, in fact, will reflexively fight a change in society. Any change, even if it's good, even if it benefits them. And we know this because there are many laws that benefit everyone and cost nothing but time and effort, right? It costs you nothing to make this change, and they will still fight it because, and this is like lizard brain all the way up. Right, they will come up with a reason on every level.
Yeah, and that to go from something huge, such as what's big for me is changing the way that you talk, down all the way to even just a change at your workplace.
Yeah.
Something simple, because you see it all the time at work.
Yeah.
There will be a new process implemented, and people just start kicking immediately. Even
I'm
if it's
usually
better.
the one implementing that process. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, totally. And they just fight for no reason. And like, especially if you want to talk about like business processes and stuff like that, it's like, no, this is faster. You can do this in 15 minutes instead of 45. No, like, you know how we always have this problem where someone slips up and forgets to carry a 1 or carries an extra 2 or something like that, and we have to go back and we don't find out for days, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
It just eats up like man hour after man hour fixing. None of that has to happen if we do it this way, right? Because we no longer touch it. We just hit a button and it happens. It will still fight you, tooth and nail.
Tooth and nail.
Yeah, and it's because, and like part of that is, again, it's like lizard brain stuff where if your tribe is constantly changing the rules that it works, you're probably going to screw up what is working, and you're all going to starve to death.
Yeah, people don't like change.
No.
I say people, but obviously just some people. But you understand what I mean.
Most people. Like, people, there are people who are more averse to change.
Yeah, absolutely. And a good example of that would be a couple episodes we're gonna have coming up soon. Of course, the gay rights, and would be legalization of marijuana. It would be all these things that changed in recent history.
Yeah.
That countless people had issues with.
Florida just passed that law.
The medical marijuana.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, it's still only medical.
Yeah, but what it was it was an expansion of what already existed, because Florida technically had it, but it was in extreme cases, and so it was an expansion.
Yeah, I didn't qualify it before. I qualify for it now.
No, yeah, right. So I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But because it was not something new, but because it was an expansion of what already existed, it makes it easier to pass like a recreational thing because it's an expansion. Yeah.
It's kind of like if I use the word retard in a negative connotation.
It makes it easier.
It makes it easier eventually for people
to
use it
in a negative fashion. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been
What We Talk About.